Hi everyone, my name's David, American Dirtbaggers.
Cat, American Dirtbaggers.
My name is Jade, Tionte's wife, U.S. Army.
Yep. And I'm John, American Dirtbaggers.
Nice. U.S. Army, how long were you in?
I was in for one term, so 4 years.
4 years?
Yeah.
Did you see any battles or anything?
No. Only far as I went was Korea.
Korea.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
How'd you like Korea?
Oh, I loved Korea. If I had a chance to go back, which is kind of what I'm planning on.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, you're still
Yeah.
young. How old are you, if you don't mind us
28.
asking? 28.
Oh,
you're still
yeah.
young,
Oh, yeah.
She's a kid.
Yep.
So where are you from originally?
Memphis, Tennessee.
Oh, nice.
Born and
Yeah.
raised
Born
and
and-
grown up?
Yep, born and raised. Yep.
How'd you like Memphis?
I love Memphis. That's my hometown.
Yeah, would you go back?
To live?
Yeah.
Certain parts.
Yeah.
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 Family still back there?
Yeah.
Cool.
The goal is to get them out. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Recruit.
Yeah.
Recruit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Nice.
where did you enlist? Were you in Memphis?
Yep, Memphis, Tennessee. I remember telling my mom, like, hey, I'm just going to go up in the office and see what they'll tell me because, you know, I'm raised with one parent. I know
Yeah.
my dad, but my mom was really like my mom and my dad.
Yeah.
So I didn't have the funds and everything to go to college.
Yeah.
Really didn't do scholarships or
Yeah.
anything. So I knew that was the best way for me to go.
Mhm.
And I did. And I took the ASVAB, got a good score, and
Nice.
Nice.
I went into the military, yeah.
So did you want Army? Was that your first choice? Army
I really
or-
didn't have a choice. It was like whichever one gives me the best offer.
Yeah.
And I really didn't want to be in an office. I'm
Yeah.
kind of like the outside
Yep.
girl, like to get dirty.
Mhm.
Right,
So yeah, they told me like, hey, you could be a fueler, and I was like, let's take it. Yeah.
So brothers and sisters?
I have brothers and sisters on both my mom and my dad's
How
side.
many
Nice.
total?
5.
5 get along with them all real good?
Yeah, yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Good.
I even co-join, so like if I'm at home, I'll bring all of them together.
Oh,
and
that's
do
good.
something. Yeah.
Now, where do you rank in the age? Are you youngest, oldest, middle?
Well, on my dad's side, I'm the middle, only girl. And on my mom's side, I'm the oldest, second girl.
Oh,
He's
okay.
in the middle.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Right, the
Yeah.
middle. She's pointing to her
Forgotten.
brother. Yep.
Yeah, her brother's here kicking with us. So yeah, he's forgotten. Little child's always forgotten.
Right,
So,
Uh-huh.
right.
That's how I
Nice.
feel on my dad's side because
Yeah.
it's only girl and the brothers, you know.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
well, then, but see, like I had my son, and then I have 2 daughters.
Yeah.
And when they were growing up, he could pick on them, but nobody could pick on them.
Mm-hmm.
So having brothers is like, okay, well, at least you know you're protected.
Yeah,
you know?
that's
So,
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, why don't you talk a little bit about Tionte?
So yeah, I worked at Universal Technical Institute. You know, I was a teacher there, and I met this. The reason what I told these guys exactly, I said we got to put this guy on a podcast. He's got a huge fucking personality.
Oh, he
He's got a
did.
He
kick-ass
does,
smile.
He
Yeah.
does. He has his.
Yeah.
Kick-ass smile and a huge personality.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he thinks he's being sarcastic and he's funny.
Yeah.
It's like your sarcasm ain't working, youngster. You know. So,
yeah.
and that's how I met him. And then I'd see him in the hallways, and I had a real good rapport with a lot of the students just because I understood him. I was a student there once before, you know, and we just got him down here. And he's like, when he came down to do it, he said, you know, my wife was in the military. I'm like, she's got to be now. We got it to his wife, you know. We got to put
Yeah.
her on there, you know. So,
Yeah.
that's how I met him. How did you meet him?
Yeah.
Oh, that's my favorite story.
So, first of all, how long were you guys married for?
7 years.
7 years.
7
Okay.
years.
This October,
Wow.
March would have been 8.
You're strong.
I was just telling him that Tionte and I met in South Korea, and he was just expressing that Tionte is also the same way, like very cultured.
Yeah.
We tend to not want to live in the United States.
Yeah, he was telling us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why
Wow.
I said my plan was to probably move to South Korea.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he was saying something like Bali or something like that.
There too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
guys
It was
had, you had
either
some
Belize.
Belize.
Yes.
There it is.
You know,
Yes.
it's funny. I have a friend that, or a guy I went to high school with. I kind of see him on Facebook. That's
Yeah.
about it. But he was military, got out of the military. Now he seems like he spends a lot of time in Belize.
Yeah.
Must be a pretty cool place.
So I was doing some research, and because you guys know we like to buy up a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
We heard.
Yeah.
And one of the Belize, they actually have land there that's going to like $5,000, $10,000. You can get close to almost an acre for $5,000.
Wow.
Damn.
And I was just telling him like, hey, that's a good place to go and buy almost an acre, put like a little hut on it, and do like an Airbnb.
Yeah.
Or when we don't want an Airbnb, let's just go to Belize.
Yeah, he was all about the hustle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He was all about the hustle early, so that you
Yeah.
retire and live life.
He
Yeah.
taught me everything I know.
That's what I was going to ask next. Who taught who that? Was it him?
He taught me everything I
Yeah.
know.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's go back to where'd you guys meet? Oh, we know
We
where.
want
but-
your story. We
Yeah, we want to
Yeah.
hear your story.
It's my favorite story. So we were in South Korea, and it was during the winter time, and we were in something called field. I'm pretty sure you guys know what that is when we go out into the field. And
sure.
his company was out there as well, and this is the time we were doing the gas chamber. Good old gas chamber. But his company was in this heating tent, and my company was outside doing the gas chamber. And when we got done, it was time for us to switch places. So it was now my company going into the heating tent and his company going into the gas chamber. Well, he decides to just turn back into the door and tell everybody in the heating tent, well, I'm just going to leave this door open so you guys can be cold since I have to go out into the cold. And I'm just looking around at everyone like, you guys are going to let this guy say that to you? Because it was mostly guys in there. And I was like, I looked at him like, no, you're not. You're going to close the door because it's cold and you're going to go do exactly what we just did. And he looked at me like, who does this bitch think she is? I'm sorry. I know.
No.
Yeah. And we were just looking at each other like, and he turned around and he closed the door, and my friend was like, bro, he's like swollen, because this is the time Tionte was huge, and he was like, you just gonna talk to that big guy like that? I'm like, hey, like, it's cold outside. And a few days later I went on leave for my little sister's birthday, and I remember getting a DM on Instagram, this is when that was new, from him, but at this time, I didn't know it was the guy that I just argued with,
okay.
right?
But he knew who you were.
No, we
Oh, he
didn't.
didn't?
Neither
No?
one of us
No?
knew at this
Oh
point.
shit.
Yeah, it gets good. And so I got a direct message from him, and he was like, "Hey, you're beautiful." Da 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 da. And I was like, we just got into a few days of conversating, and it was very nice. He was a gentleman from the start, and I was like,
Tionte?
"Yeah."
All right.
Yeah. And I remember telling him, like, okay, I've never really did this over the internet, because by that time we told each other where we were stationed and everything, like the camps we were on. So I was like, okay, if you're a real person, excuse me, if you're a real person, then we can do this when I get back. And he was like, okay. So I go a few more days at home, and then I get back to South Korea. The minute I step outside of the airport, put my SIM card into my phone, there's a message coming in from Tionte saying, hey, you're supposed to be back this day. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, this guy is very persistent. I'm loving it. And he was like, well, I'm on duty tonight, but I'm in our barracks, and we have like a community lounge, and there's a pool table, and I can order like food if you want to just hang for like our first date. And I was like, yeah, that's so sweet. No one's ever done this for me before. So I get there, and the first time I see him, I'm like, oh my God, this guy is so fine. So he had it all set up. He had the food, and we had a good time. But while in it, he was like, man, I can't stop looking at you like I know you. And I'm like,
Oh shit.
I'm like, no, you don't know me.
Did you know who he was?
You
Still
didn't-
didn't realize it.
wow.
No, because the altercation we had at the tent was just so fast, and we had on the gear and
Oh,
everything.
okay.
So yeah, and he was like, he had on gear, I didn't. So because I had just came in and took mine off, and he was like, no, I know you. I'm like, no, I don't know you. And he just said it. He was like, hey, you're the girl who cursed me out. And I looked at him. I was like, oh, snap, that is you. And I had just cut my hair while I was at home, too. So that's why I was finicky. And after that night, we had a blast. It was wonderful. Yeah.
Well,
Awesome.
I just got to say, because one of the two things I said about him is he's got the smile to die for,
Oh,
and
yeah.
a personality
He does,
that chews.
yeah.
You got a matching
Same.
smile.
Yep.
you.
Yep.
Yeah, you put that smile on, like, you get mad at you, I mean,
Yeah.
is that why your mom never beat you? Because you're like, I can't hit her, come on,
Yeah.
So, yeah, you guys have matching smiles, so
Yeah.
that was
Thank
you.
no,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just nice,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you said DM, were you guys on a dating site, or how
No,
was that working?
This is when Instagram first became a thing. And
Like
it
in a
was,
message.
But
yeah.
But
Yeah.
how did he choose you? Did he just saw where
Yeah.
you were at?
So
Check out the hot chick.
I remember this is before he direct messaged me, right? He showed me a picture where I commented on under one of his photos, just complimenting his outfit. And he was like, "You don't remember typing this?" And I was like, "No, not really," because it was just me just complimenting the outfit. It wasn't really me trying to, get at him. And he was like, "Yeah, you did this a while ago," because I was trying to figure out how we even followed each other without knowing. And that's where that was. Yeah.
So that's where it started, way back then. And then the nail in the coffin was when he shut the door after he probably walked away going, "That might be my future wife."
Oh, I guess so. Because later that day, I left home and he was still on duty. And I was just about to get into bed, and he was like, "I really had a blast with you. Can you come down so I can get another hug?" And I was like, "Sure." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I like this guy. Of course, I can give him another hug."
Yeah.
And that's when we had our first kiss.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And it was good, obviously.
Oh yeah, he picked me up like I was a little feather. Yeah.
Well, he's a pretty big guy when he was here. So
Yeah.
you said he was swollen then.
He was huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was
crazy.
huge. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So how long did you guys date before you got married? How did that play out?
So we dated for a year and 2 months because that was our whole year in Korea, and then we had about 2 months when we got back to the States, and we got
So when you
married.
got back to the States, you guys go to the same place or different places? Or?
That's another thing. So when we got serious and it was time for me to leave, because I was leaving about 3 months before he was, and we were like, well, we don't know if we're gonna be going to the same station or not to keep this going. And we were gonna get our stations, like our letters or our reports or whatever you want to call it, within a few days of us having this conversation. And it was a hard conversation, but we were like, okay, if we're going separate ways, then it's just gonna be is what it is. But yeah. But if we're gonna get the same place, then we will make this work. Like, it'll be long distance up until he gets there too. And we both got our report, and we were both going to Fort Campbell, Kentucky.
Nice.
And the happiness on our face was like, okay, this is meant then.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So where'd you guys get married?
We got married in Fort Campbell, Kentucky.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Nice.
On post.
Family
Yeah.
man or just you two?
No. Oh.
That's another thing.
Oh, man.
We're gonna get there.
Yeah. But no, it was on post. He had 2 friends and I had 2 friends that we could really trust. They were our witnesses, and we did it at the chapel home. Yeah.
nice.
Nice.
We got home.
Mom was okay with that?
My mom was okay with it. His mom was okay with it, but they were still like, "Why didn't you guys tell us?" And it's just that, hey, you don't spare any time when you know that that's your person.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Exactly.
So what year was that?
2017.
2017.
Yeah,
2017.
March 30th.
Yep. So when did you guys move to California?
Oh, that's a
And
ride.
if I remember correctly, it wasn't a direct. You guys
No.
had a little adventure.
Oh, yeah.
That led you here, right?
Yeah. What guys want to know that adventure?
Absolutely.
So we were still in Fort Campbell, Kentucky, and I ETS'd a year and a half or 2 years before he did. I was 2017, he was 2019.
And ETS is?
Estimated separation.
Okay.
And once he separated from the military, he was like, okay, well, there's nothing here in Clarksville, because that's the border.
Yeah.
There's nothing holding us here. Let's go out and just start living. And he had big plans. You guys know Tionte. His brain was already going. And at first, I was really skeptical because the only time I've ever left home was when I joined the military. And of course, I loved my husband to the death of me, but I've never really left somewhere because, someone is saying like, hey, just trust in me,
Right.
So he had a little hard time in the beginning with that. But then as he kind of just kept telling me like, hey, you can trust me. Like, I won't steer you wrong. And I was like, okay, I'm going wherever he goes. And we decided to go to Texas. But there's another long story between that. But
Did that involve a BB gun?
No.
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 I'm trying to piece these things together.
No.
Okay.
And we go to Texas. His little brother is with us this time. I'm pretty sure he's mentioned Husky.
Yeah.
Yeah. So his little brother's with us, and we pack up our one vehicle with everything. We had sold our couch, we had our TVs, because we would get all of it when we start fresh, right? So we moved to Texas, and when we get there, it was a rough start because I'm pretty sure Tionte told you guys how him and his mom relationship was in the beginning. Yeah. So we got there and we started on our own. And they really did not want to contact their mom. It was just like that pride in them. So we were staying in hotels, and they weren't really the best because we were trying to save with the money that we did have. And finally, him and his little brother were like, "Are you thinking what I'm thinking?" And they both said, we got to call mom. Because at this point, Tionte's like, man, I have a wife, and I'm really tired of her being in these conditions. And, I promised her that I was going to make stuff happen, so I'm ready to make it happen. So we called his mom, and instantly, within 24 hours, she found us an apartment. We moved in, and things got rolling. Yeah.
That's pretty
nice.
cool.
And that's where me and Tionte really started to shine.
Yeah.
You guys know Whataburger, right?
Yeah.
I started working at Whataburger full time, and he worked at HEB as a night stalker. And we were just going to work, coming home, going to work, just saving money. And that was about 3 years that we were in Texas. And then his grandfather passed away, and we went to Illinois to his funeral. And Tionte got there, and he realized, like, man, it's so much property here, like, that is for the grabbing that I forgot about. And he was like, okay, I know our next stop. And I'm like, man, again? But, I'm all for it. And we moved to Iowa. We stayed with his aunt for about 4 months while we buy our property. And we were there. We bought those property. And then we got to California after buying our properties. And now we're here. We were here. Yeah.
Nice.
And what brought you to California? What was the draw?
So what actually brought us to California was UTI.
Oh, you want to meet Mr. Birch?
Oh, by the way, I'm just going to say, I'm going to throw this out there. There's a UTI campus in Chicago. Or
really?
In Illinois.
I remember.
And Texas.
Yeah.
And Arizona.
And Texas.
But this the thing. Tionte wanted to go wherever the VA BAH would be the highest.
Gotcha.
You guys know him, so he's thinking like, I want to go to
Everything's
school.
strategic.
Yeah, all the time. And he was like, California it is. And I was like, okay, well, if we're choosing California for school, then I'll just go ahead and choose a school where I can finish my certificates, my licenses.
For flying airplanes, right?
Yeah.
Airplane pilot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you finish?
I have my commercial, but I'm not done yet.
Nice.
So when you say
Nice.
commercial, what does that mean?
So that means that I can, with certain operations, I can get paid to fly.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Yes. Yeah.
Prop planes or?
So are you talking about like Delta, United, and things like that?
Well, is that what you want to do?
Not really.
No.
I'm more so want to be like a private pilot.
Oh, there you go.
Private jets,
Yeah. Or a contract pilot where someone just, hey, I have 20,000. This is my plane. This is the operation. You'll have it in 3 days. I'm like, okay, let's go.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I forgot the question. That was before.
Sorry. Why you
California.
guys came to California? He
Oh,
was
yeah.
going to UTI, and you were going to get your license.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So once I chose my school, we was like, okay, and we went on. But you guys know CBU, California Baptist, right?
Yeah.
So I had missed.
Yeah.
Brian Carroll. We know the guy that started that.
The night he started the night.
The night program.
Really?
program,
Oh,
yeah.
that's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember. I lost my train of thought again. Oh yeah.
Certificate.
I choose the school, and just so happened I had just missed their summer semester or their spring semester, so I had to wait until fall to start. So Tionte had to come to California before me, and I was in Dubuque, Iowa, where I got my instrument rating, which is a rating that allows me to fly in bad weather per se.
Oh shit.
So we were separated for that whole summer, but in the middle of that we went on a cruise and was able to see each other. But that's the reason why we are here in California.
Nice.
UTI.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, so
Yeah.
UTI. Aw.
Yep. I remember we were sitting in our living room and he was watching the commercials that you guys have, and he was just so in love with the inside with the cars and what you guys would be doing. I could just see it. He was glowing.
Right.
And I was like, he really wants to do this.
He was so
Nice.
funny in the hallways too. I'd pop in and talk shit to him in classroom. He'd be in another class. I wasn't even in my class, and I'd see him. I'd just come in, talk shit, and then walk out before he could respond. Like, God damn it,
I remember when he first started saying your name, like Mr. Birch, Mr. Birch. I was like,
Aw.
this guy must be really cool,
I
because
appreciate that.
for Tionte to, constantly
You
say
just you meet people,
Yeah.
and that's when I meet people, I judge them by what their soul is.
Yeah.
I don't care anything else about them.
Yeah.
Male, female, black, white, green, brown. I don't care.
Yeah.
What's your soul?
Yep.
And you can just tell. I mean, I did. I came home. I said, huge fucking personality.
Oh, yeah.
And a smile that's gonna make you go.
Yeah, that smile was something. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
And his energy.
Oh, yeah.
And his
Man.
plans.
Yep.
We're doing this and this. And
Oh,
this.
yeah.
And
He
he's
was
talking about
determined.
Yeah.
Candy machines that he was doing.
Yeah.
The
and-
vending machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just crazy.
And
So-
one of the favorite things I said when he got a job at a car wash during the wintertime.
Oh.
Because he knew he wouldn't have to work that hard. I'm like, this guy.
I
He had
remember
it all
that.
down.
That was in Texas. Oh, that's so funny. He worked at a car wash. Zips, he was the manager, and I remember he said that he was like, "Babe, it's getting cold, so I'm really gonna be at home." And I was like, "Okay."
Right.
That is
Wow.
so funny. Yeah, that's it's amazing that not only the energy but the foresight he had on the plans he had to do in
Oh.
life and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just spoke so highly of you.
Oh, very.
And, puppies were practice for kids.
Yes, yes.
I'm practicing with puppies, man. I'm struggling with them. I'm not ready for kids
Oh,
yet.
that's a whole other story, man.
So it's great, yeah.
Right.
So real quick, I hope you don't mind, but for everybody to know, Tionte, we did a podcast about 4 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And since then we lost him.
yeah,
And we were supposed to do his wife on a Saturday, and the week before that Saturday is when we lost him. And she still wanted to do it to pay tribute to him, and we want to pay tribute to her. She's military,
Yes. Yep.
4 years Army.
Yep.
Went in there, going, I'll do whatever you got to do, so we could be the assholes we are. We appreciate
Yep.
that of you
Yes.
no problem.
so much. And then if you notice on the camera, her smile, see, there it is,
There it is.
matches her husband's. You know, in her personality, you can see that.
Yeah.
You can see why you guys connected.
Yeah.
At least I can.
Totally. You guys
Yeah.
are fit for
yeah,
sure.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
2 peas in the pod.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Yeah.
And it goes back to, hey, shut the door, it's cold. I tell you, that's where it went back.
I ain't shutting the door. You better shut the door.
Hey,
Little boy's going, that might be my future wife.
yeah, that's exactly what he told his mom.
Yep.
Yeah, but I want to thank you guys for seeing a side of Tionte that not people see. They will just see him. You know, he has that face. If he's not smiling, it's just resting.
Resting bitch face, RBF.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
So when I was young, I used to get beat up all the time because they were like, "What are you mad dogging me?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"This is my face." I was, ow.
That's just
you know?
it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I thank
Yeah.
you guys for seeing past that.
Oh,
You
you
just
sweetheart.
Teaching does that. So when I was teaching, you get a classroom full of students, and you start prejudging them right out of the gate.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the class, you have a completely different opinion
Yeah.
on some of those people. And it's, so you kind of learn to kind of hold tight to that opinion, get to know the person.
Yeah.
But Tionte, I tell you right out of the gate, I didn't know him like Mr. Birch knows him. I just met him. I know Mr. Birch. David, yeah. I'm falling back to UTI days. I only met him that night, but
Yeah.
right out of the gate, I know
Oh, yeah.
what this guy is. It backed up everything that Dave said about him.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, this guy, and he was leaps and bounds beyond people his age.
Oh, yeah.
Like his thinking, his strategic
Yeah.
thinking,
Yes.
what he wanted to do, his drive.
Yes.
And yeah, so he was an amazing guy
Yes,
for sure.
he is.
His most lasting friendships were with people way older than us.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were more comfortable hanging out with not people our age, but you know.
Yeah.
Did you ever meet his friend that he talked highly about a friend that lived in Kentucky?
Oh, it's
The-
multiple. It's multiple
what's
friends.
his name?
The
Hebert.
white hillbilly Hebert.
O'Hara or Philpott.
Philpott.
Yeah.
Philpott.
Now when you said Philpott, we're like, yeah, Philpott.
Oh, he loves Philpott. They all love each other. Like
Yeah.
they had been rocking from the first time Tionte got to Fort Campbell, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said they were all hillbillies.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And he was the only black guy that was a hillbilly.
Yeah.
And he made me laugh all the time. 'Cause
Yeah.
The biggest thing in the UTI is like when I'd go take my class out to the shop, I immediately would walk out to the parking lot to where they parked their cars.
Yeah.
Because him and 4 of the guys were out there smoking cigarettes. And I'd go out there like, what the fuck? They're like, oh, you're just catching us again? I'm like, I'm just here to fuck with you a little bit, you know? Every time they're like, our work's already done. I said, you don't have to explain nothing to me, you know? But yeah, just giant personality.
Yeah. He was a
Yeah.
black guy hillbilly too. Like,
But
yeah.
I'm sure in life so how many friends do you think 4 or 5 of those that were real close in Fort Campbell?
Say it again. I'm sorry.
How many of those friends that were really tight? Was it 4 or 5 of those?
I want to say, including Tionte, it was 4 of them.
4 of them.
So it was Tionte, Philpott, Hebert, and O'Hara.
I remember
Yeah.
So-
I
So
know
if you
that.
identified each one of those guys outside of the military, you would never put them together, I'm thinking.
Oh no,
Yeah.
not at all.
Why not?
Unless,
Trouble.
unless we were in a environment that called for it. So Tionte is a very outside person. He likes to go dirt biking, 4-wheeling. So if they were to met in that scenario, then yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's yeah.
Yeah.
I just gotta say that. Yeah, and so I met him and I knew him for a while, and I wouldn't tell the story about my son to a lot of students because I felt that I didn't want to bring them down, you know. And I'd known him for I want to say years, but it was probably 6 or 8 months. Yeah. And he's like, "What's your son doing?" And I told him, and he hugged me. I'm like, "Oh, that made worse." Yeah, I'm like, "Stop it." So, but he was just genuine, and that's what I really like about it. It was genuine, no bullshit.
Yeah.
You get
He
what
was
you
straight
get.
out.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's like,
sometimes
Whether
it
or
would
not
get
he's a
me.
pain in the ass or he's good, he's going to be. You don't have to worry about.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's this guy thinking about? He'll let you know.
Yeah.
He had a saying that he would say, I'll just say.
No, you cuss
yeah,
on
you
me
can
too.
He would say, "I'm the same N-word every day."
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's the guy that helps people.
Oh yeah. He
I
was
got
talking
that
about
right out of the gate. He's not the
Has
guy
he?
that wants. He wants the guy who, if
What
he
was
can
this-
help you, he's going to help you.
There was
Yeah.
a student that
Yeah.
he was picking up all the time. I can't remember his name.
You're talking about. He called him Dirty K, but his name is
Because he always looked. He did always
English.
English.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
looked dirty. Sorry, English, if you're watching. But he had a background. He did some jail time and
Yep.
stuff. And that's I've run into a lot of students like that, and John ran into a lot of students like that. We never judged for what they did.
Yep.
I'm going to judge you for what you do.
Yep.
You know, because we're all stupid. I have plenty of times in our lives I could share because
yeah.
we've known each other for 25 years now,
Long time.
and I can tell you
We met at UTI.
plenty of times. Yeah, we met at UTI.
So UTI brought us all together.
I like that.
So 20
There's the
before
UTI.
that, yeah,
There's the
UTI.
UTI.
Yeah.
UTI.
Oh, UTA.
Come on.
Oh, sorry, guys. There you go.
There's plenty of times where if things a split hair the other direction, I wouldn't be here. I'd been in jail or doing because I just was young, dumb, you know. But we didn't, so I've never took that way, you know. And I met English; he was the same way. You could tell he had a little bit of hard side to him.
Yeah.
But he was a great guy, you know, and Tionte kind of pulled him under his wing a little bit, and that was the other thing that I appreciated about him. He's like, "Oh, you need help, and you're real.
Yeah.
I'll help you. You're fake, kick rocks."
Yep.
Oh, he's
Oh,
big
yeah.
on that. If he's going to give you his all, then he expects for you to at least try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when he first started telling me about English, and they were riding together to school, and he was just telling me his story. And I remember when Tionte called his mom and was like, "Hey, Mom, I have someone that your expertise will really help." And Tionte helped him out and really showed English that there's something other than what you're used to.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. I remember right before Tionte passed, it was Halloween, and English's little sister, she couldn't go outside for certain reasons, and Tionte said, "Babe, you know what I'm going to do?" I was like, "What?" He said, I told English that I'm going to go to Walmart, and I'm going to buy his little sister some candy and some little toys and some Halloween-themed stuff so they can have a good time in the house. And he sent me a video while he was at Walmart. He had a little basket full of everything, and he took it to her. And he said, I just loved the way she was smiling. And I was like, you did that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a
Good man. Good man. Had a good woman. Got
Yep.
a good woman.
Yep.
what
Keep
a
it-
testament to his
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, we don't want to.
No, it's happy
know.
tears.
I know.
Yeah.
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 We talked a little bit off camera, and it's good. You'll never. I don't think my son's never going to leave. The thought's always going to be there. It's just we learn how to cope with it better. So I hope you're seeking help. You
Yeah.
got people you can talk to. Okay.
Yeah.
You've got my number.
Yes.
If you ever need anything from any three of us,
Yes.
Thank you.
I will
like,
give you my
"Hey,
number as well.
We need help.
And
You
you
know.
can.
I want someone to talk to. I need a drink, or I need someone, anything. Please reach out to us.
Thank you.
Number of different. One, we love that guy. Two, you're military. We take the military really serious. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
You guys go in there and you put your asses on the line, and so.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm serious about that. Those aren't just words.
I know.
If I would have known a couple weeks ahead of time, I would have went to Texas for a service. We got family out there. And one of our daughters is out there. Three grandbabiys. So I'd be like, oh yay, So
How does it feel to be a grandpa?
Oh God, it's been 10 years, 11 years. I'm old. Yeah, I'm old. We got 6 of them. No, 5 of them. 3, 4, 5. 5 of them.
Oh, that's so nice.
The oldest one's 10.
Yeah, 9. 10.
10. She just turned 10.
Yes, 10.
Yeah, 10. Yeah,
Don't let her hear you messing up.
Oh, that's all right. She'll tell me.
And the youngest is going to be 2 this year. Yeah. So
leverage that for better Christmas presents.
Oh, gosh.
No. So they sucker us. Yeah.
They do.
Oh,
all the time.
Today, the one who lives in Huntington Beach, like, Nana, and she's like, I'm sending it on Amazon. I'm like, you better stop with your credit cards, girl.
I'm sorry.
And
that's your baby.
Yeah.
As she's doing that, I'm sending snacks to the ones in Texas.
So I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
All right, so switching gears a little bit, let's go back to your flying. You're commercial status or commercial certified?
Yes.
And where do you want to go from here?
So right now I'm working on my multi-engine. So it's a rating that I'm going to add to my licenses.
Yep.
And I'm learning how to fly planes with 2 engines.
Okay.
Wow.
And after that, then I may or may not go certified flight instructor or CFI if you want to shorten it.
Mm-hmm.
But my goal is to, once I get my multi-engine, to start doing like volunteer flights, because this previous Saturday, there's something called Angel Flight, where they actually fly patients to and from other places, or medical, what word can I say, medical material to and from places. And I had the opportunity to go on one of those flights. Shout out to Harry, he the one.
Hi, Harry.
Right on, Harry.
Yeah. And that's how I want to build my time. I want to build my time like working with these organizations, just volunteering and building the time instead of working as a CFI.
So
very cool.
You went in the military for 4 years.
Yeah.
Which is giving your time to us, essentially.
Yeah.
You were the reason we get to be who we are. One of many.
Yes.
And now you're going to give your time again to help save lives.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
So what made you want to be a pilot?
Oh, so it's two stories, but my mom really clarified it, so now it's one story. I just remember when I was about as tall as this table, and my mom asked me what I wanted to be, and I told her I wanted to fly planes. And she said she remembered just looking at me like, what does this little girl know about flying planes? She's never met a pilot. She's never even been on a plane, but that's what she wants to do. And I remember about 3 months ago, my mom and I had this conversation again, and she was like, well, once upon a time, you, me, and your aunt, we used to just go to Memphis International, and there was this little area where we would just park the car, get out, and just watch the planes land. And she was like, I honestly think that's where you got it from.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, that sits more with my heart. I'm going to go with that. Yeah.
So that's cool. So when did you start the pursuit?
When we were in Texas. Well, in Clarksville, I started at Embry-Riddle, but it was online.
Oh, yeah.
And
I'm familiar with Embry.
Yeah, and that wasn't really cutting it. I was ready to start flying, so I put it on pause, and then we got to Texas, where I found this Part 61 school. So it's not a university; it's just a mom and pop flight school. You just go there, get your hours, go home. Yeah. And that's where I got my private pilot license. Yeah, 2021.
Wow.
Very good.
Nice.
Yeah.
That takes a lot.
And how
It takes a
old
lot
are you
to do that.
28.
28
Yeah,
she's a pilot.
that takes a lot. Yeah, there's a lot to that. I had a friend who became a pilot, and he was, to get his hours, he would fly parachuters on the weekend. He wasn't getting paid, so it was a trade-off. He needs his hours, right?
Yep.
So he did that.
How was that?
Yep.
Did he tell you how that was?
And there's a crazy story with that, but he loved it for the most part. He got to know the guys because it was a regular bunch, and they're all a SWAT team.
Wow.
That's kind of how they blew off steam.
Yeah.
So he got to know those guys. It was really good. He enjoyed it very much. And then I was living in Indianapolis at the time.
Okay.
And he was staying with my wife and I and renting a room while he was doing that. And randomly he'd say, "Hey, let's go rent a plane," and which was a cool thing. So we'd go rent this little Cessna, and it was before Google Maps and all that. So we're taking pictures of friends' houses, aerials.
No way.
And I remember the first time he's like, "Okay, just hold this camera out this window," and he does one of these. I'm like, "Whoa!"
You felt those G's, didn't you?
Yeah. But the thing is, it really takes some drive to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have cried. I don't like flying. I can deal with it.
I love it now.
So when the first time I flew, I want to say in my early 20s, and I was flying from Arizona to here. And I got here, and my mom picked me up. She goes, "How was it?" I said, "I don't mind the takeoff and the landing." She goes, "Those are the two most dangerous."
Yeah.
I'm like, "You just fucked it all up." No, I'm just fine. I'm flying it all. Yeah. It's just scary because my feet are on the ground.
Yeah.
And I have no control. In a car, you can reach up and jerk the steering wheel.
Yeah.
In a plane, you just cry a little bit.
Look at it as when you're in those big airliners, you're about 30, 40,000 feet in the air. They have time. In a car.
Yeah. So my daughter lives in the oldest one in Huntington Beach, just came back from Dallas.
Yeah.
And they're snowing out there. And she said they had to sit on the tarmac for 5 hours. They finally got up, and the pilot said, "Listen, we're going to be going through a storm, so stay buckled up, stay in there." And she said they dropped a few times where like 0G, and she's scared.
What?
And,
The turbulence.
Then they're coming they're supposed to land here in Ontario. And the winds were so bad. This was a couple days ago. Santa Ana's were going so bad. She's like, the pilot said, "We're going to try to land, but I don't know if I can." And so they're coming down to land, and the plane almost took them sideways, the winds, and he took back off, and she's like, 10 people threw up, people were crying. Tried it 4 times, said, "Never mind, we're going to go to L.A."
Yep.
Went to L.A., tried it 3 times. The pilot finally came on and said, "Listen, we're going to try one more time. If we don't make it, we're going to head to San Diego.
Right.
If we don't make it to San Diego, we're going to land in the water."
Oh shit.
So yeah,
I
people
like
are
how he was
puking.
being transparent.
People are sending text messages. "I'm gonna tell my kids I love them and stuff." And she
Man.
said on the 4th time,
That's
they finally.
insane. Yeah.
At LAX.
So the 3rd time they came into land, another plane was coming into land, and they had to take back off so they didn't hit the plane.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she was telling me the story. I'm like, "Fuck, I don't want to fly no more." She's like, "Yeah, I got to fly in a month." I'm like, "You're crazy."
Oh my gosh.
What I do, if you overthink it, I just turn my brain off, get on, and hope for the best. Yeah.
So I only did turbulence once like that, and it was me and this Asian guy were sitting next to me, and the turbulence got so bad we were hugging, saying goodbye to everybody. I thought I was gonna die, And then the guy in front of us was like, "It ain't that bad." Well, it was to me. So yeah, you're crazy, girl.
Yeah.
Wow.
So twin props.
Shout out to that pilot, though.
Right?
Right,
He
yeah.
made it. Yeah.
She takes the pilot's perspective of all this.
Yeah.
So you're going to learn twin props, and then what? Is that where you stop, or do you go on to?
Well, if I ever want to go to the airlines, then we'll have to pursue something called ATP, which is Air Transport Pilot License. That's still up in the air.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I'm going to stop at multi and just bill my hours to FBO. So like a flight company picks me up. Yeah.
So somebody says, "Hey, we got a private jet that wants to go to Vegas."
Basically. Basically.
You go over there, you get paid a certain amount, take them, drop them off.
That's cool.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah.
A lot less restrictions there, I think. A lot less. You're not set to a schedule like a commercial pilot, maybe.
So with Part 121 is what ATP is their schedule. So you got to book your flight and be on, and the pilot's got to be there and all that. But Part 135 or 91 is the most lenient. That's general aviation. That's where the schools come from, or if somebody just want to hop in their plane and go.
Yeah.
But more on demand, that's Part 135, where you still have rules, but they're just dedicated to that specific small airline or charter company. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Man.
Pretty awesome. Yeah.
So what do you do now?
Right now, I'm just in school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Focused.
Yep.
Determined.
Yep.
Yep.
Just trying to get through this last year before I graduate.
Right on.
Ah.
Yeah.
What rank were you when you got out of the Army?
I was E2.
E2?
Yeah.
So when do you graduate? This year?
Yes, December.
Are you going to walk and all that good stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Where-
Yeah.
Can I
Let us know.
ask?
Yes.
We would love to.
Yes.
Yes.
I would love for you guys to be there.
Where is that going to be?
California Baptist.
Oh, nice.
nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm serious now. These
Yeah,
aren't
I'm
words.
that serious.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
all right.
They're coming.
All right.
Yeah.
I'd be honored. I'd be honored to sit there. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I didn't get to see Tionte's graduation. Because that was that Friday, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
December 6th when he was supposed to graduate.
Yeah. So I didn't get to see his graduation. So I got to see yours, if you don't mind.
No, I do not mind at all. And I wanted to shout out UTI because I called them and let them know, and they were like, "Hey," because he had one more class left, and they were like, "You know what? He's completed. Just don't worry about it. When you're ready, just come get his certificate, his diploma."
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I started crying on the phone with that lady. Yeah.
That's I don't want to talk too much about it, but that's where I heard is one of the instructors like, "Fuck, Birch, did you hear?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "You're fucking lying."
Yeah.
Like, no. I'm like, so I called, and they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "What the fuck?" You know. And so I asked all around, and nobody knew anything. And and then you text, thank you.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to ask. I still don't want to ask. I just was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
No. You know, because he's gonna live in my head forever.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just, it's a hard loss.
Yeah.
It's a hard loss. You know.
So you guys were married 7 years.
Yep.
You had him for 7 years.
7 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one way I deal with it is I got to meet that fucking guy. I got these memories of his smile sitting there with his head thing on, and laughing. And
his laugh.
He sets the bar high, doesn't he?
Yeah.
When you like think about 7 years, to us that isn't a long time, but when you meet Tionte, it feels like forever. Yeah. So those 7 years felt like 50, and I'm pretty sure the time you had with him felt like
I
years.
might have known him a year, but it seemed like I knew him his whole life. You know, I think he's the type of guy. This is what I take away. Once you're his friend, it's forever.
Yeah,
family.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's what we tried to make him feel that way, and I think we did. He. It was. So it was such a short time, but such a huge impact. Yeah. If that makes sense.
I always liked that about his soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Old soul too.
Oh.
What are you, like 68?
Yeah.
He would act like it sometimes. He would come from school, and like 10:30 is his 8 p.m. So 10:30 a.m. is his 8 p.m.
Right.
And he's just fit for the day.
Yep.
Yeah. Unless he has something to do.
Yep. Yeah. That's cool.
Old soul.
Yeah. Sure.
Love that man. Yeah.
Wow.
So great guy. I feel privileged just to get to meet him.
As you, I feel privileged for you. Thank you so much. I honestly did not anticipate this to occur, and totally understood when you said you still wanted to. I'm like, fucking be honored, I thought you were honoring us, and by coming and doing this,
Yeah. I wanted to thank you guys for allowing him to come and share his story and just give him that opportunity.
Great. We were planning on having him back a second time. Yeah. And about a year, find out what he's doing out there. Listen to his stories.
Because a year with Tionte is probably like
10 like 10 years.
Several years, a decade with anybody else.
Oh, for sure.
Oh my gosh.
Because you guys are going to get to hear about his multifamily, because that's what's in the process now, and
his multifamily
property.
Yeah. A trailer in some state. He had a trailer
in Texas.
In Texas,
the car wash guy, right?
His boss. I remember that story too. He came home. First of all, his heart was definitely in the right place. Like, he told me his story. He was teary-eyed, and I remember he was like, "I know what I'm going to do," and I was like, "What?" He was like, "I'm going to give them a place to stay." And he went into his man cave. He got on Facebook Marketplace. He was showing me all these RVs, and he picked one, and he was like, "This is going to be their home." And they said yes. They rented it out.
We heard the whole story about buying that. Were you a part of that?
Oh, yeah. That's a funny story.
Yeah.
So it was on Facebook Marketplace, and the guy was trying to have Tionte buy it at like $4,500. But Tionte was like, "Man, I've been around the block. I'm not going to buy this for $4,500. And he told me, like, "Babe, text this guy." Message this guy.
The old bait and switch.
Yeah. And I think I told the guy $3,000. I forgot the price. And he was like, "Yeah." And Tionte was like, "Bet, let's go." We drive there, and Tionte gets out the car first, and the guy is looking all weird, and he was like, "Oh yeah, that's my wife." And I want to thank you for accepting the same offer.
Right.
So he tried to turn that story into I was doing it for the money, and I know he's bullshitting. You're doing that because you give a shit about
No,
these
he's
other people.
I would
the guy.
say-
His heart was way too
I would
fucking
say
big.
80-20.
Yeah.
80. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's gonna make a little bit of money, but I'm doing this because this guy's
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just his heart was too big.
Yeah.
His heart was too
Yeah.
big and to match his fucking personality.
Yeah.
Holy Jiminy.
And they had children, and he got so cool with the kids, and yeah, Tionte was doing
Yeah.
that for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, he's a man.
He's doing it for the money.
I'm doing it for the money. Yeah, bullshit. We know that shit.
Yeah, right.
One thing that he hated was because you got all his actions are pure intentional only, and the one thing that he did hate was when his pure intentions would backfire on him, and someone would just not accept his
Yeah.
There's dirty people out there, you know.
Yeah.
They're
That didn't stop him, did it?
no.
No.
Nah.
Like he has plenty of friends that he'll give them some advice one day, and they'll call him a few weeks later and tell them the same story, and he's giving them that same advice. Like he
Didn't
just
give
wants
up.
to see. Yeah, he wants to see everyone win.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can tell.
You could tell, yeah. He was not a quitter.
No.
He kept going forward.
The little engine that could.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's a good man.
Yeah, for sure.
To Tionte.
Tionte.
To Tionte's wife, even though I don't have none left.
Yes. Jay.
Jay.
Thank
Jay.
you.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you.
No problem.
We good?
I think so.
You have anything you want to say last before we?
Just thank you guys again
No,
for
thank you.
the opportunity you gave both of us. And hey, if you want to do a recap in some time, I'm all here for
We
it.
do want to.
Yeah.
I would love to catch up with you after
Okay.
you've been out there for a while with
Yeah.
your pilot's license.
Oh,
and
yeah.
all that
For
stuff.
sure.
Maybe about 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
going to talk to you more than that. I'll try not to. So I don't know if you noticed, but I try not to. There's so many times I'm like, no.
I'm the same
No.
way. I'm the same way.
Text me anytime you want. It's the grieving process. It's tough.
Yeah.
You know? Unfortunately, we experienced it about 4 years ago. So I know it's overwhelming. Like my boss, she lost her dad, and I waited about 2 weeks before I text her.
Yeah.
And because you're dealing with so much, and so many people are coming at you that I don't want to. I don't want to add overwhelming to it. So,
Yeah.
but anytime, day or night, I might not answer it right away, but anytime, day or night, please reach out.
You
If
can
guys
call
need
me.
anything, please reach out. She'll give you her number.
Don't
Call
forget,
her.
I really want your number.
Yes.
Yeah. And then just reach out to us. And yeah, we'd love to have you back in about 6 months.
Yes.
Okay.
Talk a little bit
Or
more
anytime
about
you
your-
want to come over.
Yeah.
Sounds
You
good
can
to
come
me.
over anytime you want.
Driveway's not always open, but you can park on the street. You know.
Okay.
Yeah, please don't hesitate.
Yeah.
We'd love to stay in touch with you. I'd love
Yeah.
to bring you back in 6 months, talk about you a little bit more, you know,
Yeah.
because this is
Sounds
a
good.
tribute to Tionte
Yeah.
and to his beautiful wife.
Yes.
And he spoke so fucking
Highly of you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Thank you.
No
babe.
doubt. No doubt.
Yeah.
His
Oh,
feelings
yeah.
towards you. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Boss and
And it-
rock.
yeah.
That's my
Yeah.
rock. That's my rock.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And every
Oh,
time
yeah.
you mention you, he shined.
Yeah.
I hope I stood to those words today.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually looking at you, wondering how you got someone so cute. You know, because I'm like, damn. Dude.
Well, my husband, he's fine too.
Yeah, he's a good looking guy. Yeah.
Well, in your opinion, I'm a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a beautiful soul.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
makes
Very.
sense. You can tell you guys are just a perfect fucking
Yeah.
match.
That's my best friend.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
souls match, the bodies matches, the face matches. You know, yeah, the smiles.
Yeah.
Fuck! Right when you walked out, I'm like, oh my god, that's his wife. You can tell. Yeah, you know. so-
Sometimes people mistake us as brother and sister. That's
What?
how. Yeah.
Well, your smiles are so inviting. If that
Yeah.
makes sense
Yeah.
to you. Like kids smile, I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
You know, you
Let's
can't
give
get
you a
mad.
hug.
Yep.
So,
Oh, yeah.
Thank
so
you,
it makes
guys.
total
Thank
sense.
you.
So
Thank
thank
you.
you so much.
Yeah.
God bless you.
Yes.
And again, anytime, anything, and within about 6 months, we'd love to bring you back here about your
Okay.
pilot license and talk a little bit more about
I hope I
your
have
business.
some good stories.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
just-
Yeah, mix them up if you don't have some.
Yeah. It don't matter.
I'll save the one story when I almost hit a dog for later
Yeah.
day.
Oh yeah. We got to hear that.
Yeah, most definitely.
And then while you're flying, just randomly land on a dirt runway just so you can add a story to your
I'm not gonna do
This
that.
is for me. You guys just hang on. This is for me.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
you guys are funny.
We try.
Gotta keep these guys in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta keep them in line.
She tries. She doesn't. No.
I can't.
So we started doing this in 2020. Actually, 2020 is when I bought my bike. He bought his bike. I bought my bike.
Yeah.
And we planned on riding, and then we lost our son, and we decided to keep the ride alive.
Yeah.
And we travel around the United States. We've been everywhere west of the Mississippi.
He was telling me that. How was that?
Well, we've gone every year. We go on big runs.
Yeah.
So we do a lot for military. Every May we do 22 push-ups for 22 days for military veteran suicide.
Wow.
And then in November we do Veterans Day things because
Yeah.
the veterans are the reasons that we are able to be who we are. Because you guys put your
We
asses on the
appreciate
line.
Yeah.
the military so much.
Yep.
I saw. We're making a shirt for our program. It says "Noun Veteran," a check written with unlimited abilities, including one's life. And we're like, fuck, you know.
Yeah.
You
Where
know,
did you
so-
get? Can I get one of those shirts?
Yeah.
We're going to
Yep.
get it printed up within the next month, and we'll
Okay.
definitely get you a shirt.
Yep.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we're going to do veterans and military shirts. We're going to do American Dirtbaggers shirts. And
Okay.
we promote military, and that's why we brought him down here
Yeah.
because he's the American dream in our opinion, you know.
Yeah.
And then his personality.
Yeah.
You
Like
gotta
a light up a room.
Likeable dude.
light
Yeah.
up the
Yep.
room,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
So
I always told him he matched his zodiac. He's a Leo. You know, that's the sun.
Ah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
he's not mean. He
Yeah.
tried to act mean, but he wasn't.
He
mean.
wasn't mean.
He's mean. He has to be. But
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
He's not a guy you want to stand up to, but
Oh.
he's got a golden
He's like a
heart.
teddy
That guy-
bear.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
a teddy
Yeah,
bear.
I'm a
Yeah.
thug. I'm going to yell at you and then hug you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me beat you up and pat you up.
Yeah. Like he would say, now I got to teach you.
Yeah.
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 So most
Wow.
definitely, please, 6 months.
Okay.
And then this will be on probably within about a week.
Okay.
We'll get this sent out to our son. I'll send you a text. It's uploaded and ready to go.
Okay.
Let anybody and everybody know about it. Tell them to
Yeah.
subscribe. That helps us out a little bit. That keeps
I
our
was going
drive
to say,
alive.
can I post it on my platform
Yep.
and things?
Yeah.
Please.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Please. Yeah, yeah. I'll
Yep.
give you some stickers. We got some stickers with some QR codes. I'll give you some
Oh,
QR codes. You can just have people.
okay.
If they subscribe to YouTube, it helps support us and keeps us moving
I
forward.
got you.
So, and then we do, a lot of different events for military. So.
Hey, I'm at a big school. I'll pass them around because I'm around a lot of veterans all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I can definitely pass out you guys
We'd
stickers.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
So do you live close to the campus there?
So we live in Riverside. Yeah, same. I want to say without traffic, it's probably like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
traffic,
Sweet.
20.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. It's close
Not
by.
too far. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All right. I
So
think
whenever
we're gonna-
these guys are gone, you can come over anytime you want,
Okay. That sounds
Trouble.
fun to
Just
me.
kidding. Just kidding.
Do you drink it all? Oh, sorry, wine and
Yeah.
foo-foo drinks.
Yeah.
So next time you come over, bring a DD with you,
Okay.
and we'll get you some foo-foo drinks, and you can
DD.
have.
Sounds good.
Dee
This
Dee.
is
Yeah, there we
DD.
go.
No.
He's like, no, not me.
I have
I want a drink.
He's like, wait, what?
We're talking about Jay's younger
Yeah.
brother,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Scott.
Scott's here.
He's
on camera. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm drinking whiskey.
Yeah,
pal.
yeah.
He's like, what?
I actually have a good friend. Her name's Lacey.
Uh-huh.
She's a veteran as well.
Oh,
and
wow.
Nice.
You
Oh.
guys, she has a story herself
Oh,
that I'm pretty
there
sure
you
you
go.
guys would.
I think we need to get another mic.
I will
Yeah.
order another mic. Would you want to bring
Yep.
it with you?
Oh,
we'll
yeah.
sit you guys together. And we'll
I
do-
know she'd love that.
Yeah,
I know you
yeah,
guys. She
yeah.
has a story for you
Yeah.
too.
What's her name?
Lacey
Lacey, where'd you
Yeah.
meet Lacey?
on campus.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
okay.
What
She's
service
in-
was she in?
She was in the Air Force.
Air Force.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, please
Yeah.
bring her. We'd love to. Yeah.
Gotcha.
We enjoy just chopping it up. No,
Oh, yeah.
And again, we've told this to everybody before. We don't really set a pattern of what we're going to talk about. We find out what they're not comfortable talking about. We
Yeah.
won't talk about that. Beyond that,
Yeah.
we just go where it takes us,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
The
yeah.
environment here is very welcoming. I'll tell you guys
Aw,
that. Yeah,
thank
for
you.
sure.
You're going to make me blush.
I like
It's
that.
not him.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. It's
I
not this
was-
guy.
I'm kind of like nervous on camera, but you guys definitely just mellowed that.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it just seems like we're just
Yeah.
having a conversation.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's all it is. Yeah. So the first few weeks you've seen, we were bark, bark, bark.
Yeah, we were.
My son-in-law
That's
texts me
funny.
because he's the one that does all our stuff. He's like, "Stop looking at the fucking camera."
That was
It's
funny.
Yeah, it's called breaking the third wall or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I was interviewed when I was at UTI. Some TV station came in to interview for some reason or whatever.
Yeah.
So they gave me the rundown. You don't look at the camera. It's not your audience.
Oh,
It's my audience. And that's
Oh.
called breaking the third wall. I'm like, okay.
sounds good.
So yeah, that's why we don't plan. The only thing we do is we talk about a few questions we want to make sure we drop in there, and beyond that we just go with the flow and see where it takes us. So.
I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Scott,
Thank you, Scott.
You can't sit with us without clearance.
Yeah.
That lame shit, we'll never let it near us. And yo, girl, I choose my team cause you still living with your parents. Flexing on the gram with your paycheck. Stop showing off them bills you ain't paid.